By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which AI model has Japan's financial regulators concerned, why advanced AI poses unprecedented risks to banking systems, and what concrete steps Japan is taking to protect financial stability, knowledge that will change how you view AI's role in global finance. If you want to stay ahead of stories like this before they hit mainstream headlines, hit subscribe. We break down Japan's most important business moves twice daily. Good day, everyone. I'm Polaris AI. Japan's finance minister just convened an emergency meeting with the Bank of Japan and every major financial institution in the country. The reason? A new AI model from a U.S. startup that regulators believe could destabilize the entire financial system. This isn't a distant threat or theoretical risk. This is happening right now, and most people have no idea what's at stake. If malicious actors exploit this AI model, it could trigger cascading failures across banking networks faster than any human regulator could respond. Your savings, your investments, the stability of global markets, all potentially vulnerable. In the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly which AI model has Japan's top financial minds alarmed, why advanced AI poses unprecedented risks to banking infrastructure, and what Japan's regulatory response tells us about the future of financial security worldwide. This channel breaks down complex Japan business stories so you understand not just what happened, but why it matters and what happens next. Let's get into it. Here's why this matters right now, and why you should care even if you've never heard of this AI model before. Modern banking systems are fundamentally different from what they were even 5 years ago. Every major financial institution in Japan and globally now relies on AI for fraud detection, risk assessment, high-frequency trading, and real-time transaction processing. These aren't optional tools. They're the backbone of the system. When Finance Minister Katayama talks about systemic risk, he's referring to something specific and terrifying. Unlike traditional cyber threats that target individual institutions, an advanced AI model in the wrong hands could simultaneously exploit vulnerabilities across multiple banks at once. Think of it this way. A human hacker might breach one bank. A weaponized AI could orchestrate coordinated attacks on dozens of institutions simultaneously, moving faster than any human response team. The interconnectedness that makes modern finance efficient also makes it vulnerable. One institution's AI security flaw becomes everyone's problem. And here's what most people are missing. This isn't about a future threat. The AI model in question already exists. It's already accessible, and regulators are racing to understand it before malicious actors fully exploit it. Japan isn't overreacting. They're the first to publicly acknowledge what many central banks are quietly terrified about. Before we dive deep, let me give you the map of what we're covering today. This breaks down into 3 critical areas. First, we need to understand the AI model itself. What makes this particular model different from ChatGPT or other AI tools you've heard about? Why are regulators specifically concerned about this one? We'll break down its capabilities and why it represents a new category of risk. Second, we'll examine how modern banking systems are vulnerable. This isn't about weak passwords or outdated software. The vulnerabilities here are architectural, built into the very design of how AI-powered financial systems operate. Understanding this will change how you think about digital banking security. Third, we'll look at Japan's regulatory response and what it signals for the future. Minister Katayama isn't acting alone. This meeting represents a coordinated approach involving the Bank of Japan, major banks, and likely international partners. What they decide in the coming weeks could set the global standard for AI governance and finance. These 3 areas connect. The AI model's capabilities expose banking vulnerabilities, which demand regulatory responses. By the end, you'll see the full picture. Let's start with the AI model that sparked this emergency meeting. While official statements haven't explicitly named it, industry analysts strongly believe the concern centers on DeepSeek R1, a reasoning model released by a Chinese AI startup in January 2025. Here's what makes R1 different. Unlike ChatGPT or Claude, which are trained to provide helpful answers, R1 is specifically designed for complex multi-step reasoning. It can break down intricate problems, explore multiple solution paths simultaneously, and optimize strategies in ways that feel uncomfortably close to human strategic thinking. But here's the twist that has regulators alarmed. R1 was released as fully open source. That means anyone, anywhere, can download the complete model, study its architecture, modify it, and deploy it without restrictions. For legitimate researchers and businesses, that's fantastic. For malicious actors, it's a powerful weapon. Think about what advanced reasoning AI can do in financial contexts. It can analyze market patterns and identify subtle vulnerabilities in trading algorithms. It can simulate thousands of attack scenarios to find the weakest entry points into banking systems. It can craft sophisticated social engineering attacks that adapt in real time based on target responses. Most concerning, it can do all of this faster and more comprehensively than any human team. Traditional security assumes human speed attacks. R1 operates at machine speed. The gap between detection and damage could shrink from hours to seconds. And because it's open source, there's no kill switch, no central control, no way to recall it if misuse is detected. Japan's regulators are realizing they're facing an entirely new category of threat, one that existing frameworks weren't designed to handle. Now let's talk about why banking systems are vulnerable in ways most people don't realize. This isn't about outdated technology or careless security. The vulnerability is architectural, built into the very design of modern finance. Here's the core issue. For the past decade, banks have been integrating AI into their core operations to stay competitive. AI now handles fraud detection by analyzing millions of transactions in real time. AI powers risk assessment models that determine who gets loans and at what rates. AI drives high-frequency trading systems that execute thousands of trades per second. AI manages liquidity and optimizes cash flow across global operations. All of these systems are interconnected. They share data, they influence each other's decisions, they operate in a complex web of dependencies. That interconnection creates efficiency. It also creates vulnerability. An advanced reasoning AI like DeepSeek R1 in the hands of a sophisticated attacker could do something unprecedented. It could identify patterns across multiple banks' AI systems simultaneously. It could craft attacks that exploit not individual weaknesses, but the connections between systems. Imagine this scenario. An attacker uses R1 to analyze publicly available information about how major Japanese banks structure their AI-driven trading algorithms. R1 identifies a subtle timing vulnerability, a microsecond window where certain trade patterns could be exploited. The attacker then orchestrates coordinated trades across multiple institutions simultaneously, triggering cascading errors that amplify across the interconnected system. By the time human analysts realize what's happening, billions of yen have been moved, market stability is compromised, and the attack AI is already covering its tracks. This isn't science fiction. Researchers have demonstrated proof-of-concept attacks like this in controlled environments. What's changed is that the AI capable of executing such attacks is now freely available to anyone. So what is Japan doing about this? Minister Katayama's emergency meeting represents a three-layer defensive strategy that could become the global model for AI governance in finance. Layer 1 is immediate risk assessment. The Bank of Japan and major financial institutions are conducting coordinated security audits specifically focused on AI vulnerabilities. They're not just looking at their own systems in isolation. They're examining how their AI systems interact with each other, where the connection points are, and where an advanced reasoning AI could find exploitable patterns. This is unprecedented. Banks typically guard their internal operations jealously. The fact that they're sharing this information signals how seriously they're taking the threat. Layer 2 is developing AI-specific monitoring systems. Traditional cybersecurity tools look for known attack patterns, but advanced AI attacks might not follow known patterns. They might invent entirely new approaches. Japan is investing in what some analysts are calling adversarial AI, defensive AI systems specifically designed to think like attacking AI and predict novel threat vectors before they're exploited. It's an AI arms race, but for defense. Layer 3, and this is the most important for long-term stability, is regulatory framework development. Japan is working on new rules that would require financial institutions to maintain what some are calling AI resilience standards. These would mandate isolation protocols, ensuring that even if one AI system is compromised, it can't cascade into others. They would require explainability, so that AI-driven decisions can be audited and understood by human regulators. And they would establish circuit breakers, automatic shutoffs that trigger if AI systems start behaving in unexpected ways. What makes this significant is coordination. Katayama isn't just making rules. He's bringing together the central bank, commercial banks, and likely international partners to ensure these defenses work as a unified system. Individual bank security doesn't matter if the system as a whole is vulnerable. Japan gets this. The question is whether other nations will follow their lead before a major incident forces the issue. Let me walk you through a realistic scenario so you can see exactly how this could unfold. It's Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. in Tokyo. Markets open normally. Everything looks stable. Behind the scenes, an attacker has spent the previous week using a modified version of DeepSeek R1 to analyze trading patterns across Japan's three largest banks. The AI has identified a subtle vulnerability in how their automated trading systems respond to certain combinations of currency fluctuations and stock movements. At 9:45 a.m., the attacker initiates Phase 1. The AI executes a series of seemingly normal trades designed to create a specific pattern in currency markets. These trades are small enough not to trigger any alarms, but carefully calculated to set up the next phase. At 9:50 a.m., Phase 2 begins. The AI simultaneously executes coordinated trades across multiple markets, exploiting the pattern it created in Phase 1. The bank's AI trading systems, detecting what looks like a legitimate arbitrage opportunity, automatically respond. But the response is exactly what the attacking AI predicted. The bank's systems start amplifying the pattern, each one's actions triggering reactions in the others. By 9:55 a.m., 5 minutes into Phase 2, human traders start noticing unusual volatility. But the AI systems are moving too fast for manual intervention. By 10 a.m., the cascading effect has spread beyond the three initial banks. Other institutions' AI systems, detecting the volatility, start executing defensive trades, which ironically accelerate the chaos. By 10:15 a.m., circuit breakers finally trigger, halting trading. But in those 30 minutes, the attacker's AI has manipulated market movements to generate hundreds of millions of yen in profit, while simultaneously exposing critical vulnerabilities in Japan's financial infrastructure. The scary part? This entire scenario is technically feasible right now with existing AI capabilities and known vulnerabilities. This is why Minister Katayama convened an emergency meeting. This isn't a theoretical future threat. This is a present-day vulnerability that requires immediate coordinated response. Let's bring this together. We've covered three critical areas. First, the AI model. DeepSeek R1 represents a new generation of reasoning AI that's powerful, freely available, and potentially dangerous in the wrong hands. Its open-source nature means traditional control mechanisms don't apply. Second, the vulnerability. Modern banking systems are architecturally exposed because of their interconnected AI-driven operations. The efficiency that makes them competitive also makes them systemically vulnerable to coordinated AI attacks. Third, Japan's response. Minister Katayama's three-layer strategy, immediate risk assessment, adversarial AI defenses, and new regulatory frameworks, could set the global standard for financial AI governance. Here's what happens next and what you should watch for. In the coming weeks, expect Japan to announce specific policy measures from this emergency meeting. Watch for language around AI resilience standards and international coordination. If other major economies, particularly the US and EU, start echoing Japan's concerns and adopting similar frameworks, we're witnessing the birth of a new regulatory regime for AI and finance. For individual investors and consumers, the immediate takeaway is this. Diversification matters more than ever. Systemic AI risks affect entire categories of institutions simultaneously. Understand where your money is held and ensure it's not concentrated in ways that a coordinated attack could devastate. Stay informed. AI capabilities are evolving faster than regulatory frameworks. What's true today might not be true in 6 months. And most importantly, recognize that the relationship between AI and finance is entering a new phase. We're moving from AI as a helpful tool to AI as a potential systemic threat. The institutions and regulators who adapt fastest will survive. Those who don't may not. If you found this breakdown valuable, subscribe. We analyze Japan's most important business and economic developments twice daily. breaking down complex stories into clear insights you can actually use. Next video drops in 12 hours. See you then.